Okie dokie, today I am making one of my favorite dishes, or meals, I guess, because it's two dishes. It's Caesar chicken and cheesy hash brown potatoes. And I'm going to do the potatoes first because the chicken doesn't take as long. So I'm going to take this onion here, chop it up. And then take these peels and throw them away. It's almost kitty cat dinner time. They can hear me cooking. And they're saying, meow, feed us, meow, meow. Hey, Rubies. Oh, I probably should turn some lights on, huh? Blah. Blah. I mean, it's still daylight, but I don't have like special lights for cooking. All right. Onion. I might save some of it for another recipe. And it's burning my eyeballs. Oh, God. Oh, my eyeballs. Just gotta push through a little bit more. Mary Jane. Mary Jane. Hi, Mary Jane. How's it going? Oh my gosh, that is so much onion. Alright, well, we got this onion chopped up. And I got a pan over here heating up. This guy. This recipe takes a lot of butter. It's a pretty big casserole. So, and I hardly ever make this. I mean, not that I feel I need to defend my food choices or anything. Mary Jane, you are fine. Those onions got me all runny nose. Mojo! Mojo! Mojo, is the doggy bothering you? Yeah. Ooh, that might have been a little too much butter for these onions. I'll put it in a bowl, what I don't use. Ugh. Yes, Mojo? Oh, Ruby shush. Oh, Ruby shush. So, I got, I don't know, about 2 tablespoons of butter in this pan. And I think I am going to use only about half of these onions. Is that not high enough? A little higher. Sorry, I'm not very talkative today. I am majorly exhausted today. I've not been sleeping well. Leave it. Doggies don't get onions. Back up. Good girl. Hi, Mojo. Hi, Mojo. Watch my tripod, sticky dog. Alright, so we're gonna reduce these onions a whole lot. The recipe calls just to put them in the casserole raw, but it always leaves it a little too crunchy. And then I'll be back. Okie dokie. Now, I'm gonna call these onions done. They're just, you know, softened up so that when I put them in my casserole, it's not super crunchy. And I apologize if you can hear the kitty cats in the background. They're getting their dinner. Alright, so now that we got these onions cooked, we take our big giant metal bowl. And you can't see that, so I'm going to bring you back over here. So, big metal bowl. And just kind of dump the onions in. Or at least this is what I do. Now, this is kind of a variation on a pretty well-known recipe. I think it's a southern recipe. My grandma taught it to me. So, that's how I know it. And then, so, 2 of those onions, it's like I said, it's a lot of butter, so I'm adding the rest of that stick of butter. a whole stick of butter. It's disgusting but tasty. And then 1 can cream of chicken soup. Maybe I shouldn't have shown the brand. I don't know. And it's the whole can of cream of chicken soup, in case anybody was wondering. And to that also, typically you add sour cream, but I add, hold on, I add a ranch dip made with sour cream because I like the taste better and I can. We don't really follow recipes around here. And again, I don't really like to measure, so I'm just going to put a couple of nice heaping spoonfuls in here. When I'm done, I'll stir it up, taste it a little, and see if I want to adjust that. And then just some black pepper. The recipe calls for salt, but I figure that the butter and the cream of chicken soup and the cheese and everything has plenty of, you know, salt in it, so I don't add salt. Of all things, you know, whatever. It's a really crappy, not healthy recipe, but I don't want to add the extra salt. And, you know, just, I got medium cheddar. You can use sharp cheddar. You can use mild cheddar. Whatever strikes your fancy. I'm using medium just because it's what I had. Usually I use sharp. And I'm not sure exactly how much. I think it calls for 2 cups. But I just eyeball it like I do everything. Oops. Alright, so then to that, we're adding, come on, we are adding frozen shredded hash browns that I've been thawing for a little while. And depending on how I feel, sometimes I add the whole bag, sometimes I don't. I don't know, we'll see how I feel after it's all stirred up. So I'm going to just get this nice and incorporated. You know what, I'm going to add more hash browns. Yep, whole bag. Alright. That's how we're doing today. Ugh. Okay, my arm's getting tired. These are a little more frozen than I'd like. They're still a little stiff. Oh, I'm still sniffly from those onions. Those were some strong onions. Alright, so now, got all that stirred together. I'm going to take my spoon. Oh, you can't see me. Well, so I'm going to take my spoon, get a little bit out of here, taste test it. Come on, it's my own dinner, I can double dip. That is a perfect amount of ranch dip. I don't usually grease this pan. I'm just going to literally just dish all of this out into it. Alright, so we got the rest of that in here. I'm just going to smooth that out. The spoon looks like it's about to break, but it's held up pretty nicely. So that's pretty smoothed out. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not trying to win any awards here. Okay, so then after this, what we're going to do is take yet even more butter. If I can find the butter. Here, butter, 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 butter. No. Oh, here it is. It's on the other countertop. All right, so what I'm going to do is take a few tablespoons of butter, put it in this bowl here, and then melt it. So we're going to take our melted butter, open up a bag of sour cream and onion chips, and crunch them up, put them in the bowl with the butter, and stir it all up. Okie dokie, now we just top casserole with the butter-laden potato chips. think I dropped something on the floor because the dog is licking right next to my feet. Okay. Alright. So we got those on there. Kind of spread them out a bit. Again, not trying to win any awards. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands. And we're going to stick this in our preheated 350-degree oven. The recipe calls for an hour, but I usually do more like 30-40 minutes or until the chips start browning. While this is cooking, we're going to do our chicken. And hopefully it'll line up where the chicken's done at the same time as the casserole's done. And hopefully it'll work out. Alrighty, now for the chicken, I'm just going to use the same cutting board I used for my onions because I'm pretty sure onions don't contaminate raw chicken. I'm pretty sure it would be the other way around. So we're just going to use the same cutting board. And in case you're wondering why I have my chicken in a zip bag instead of, you know, in a grocery package, is because I don't get my chicken at a grocery store. And I individually wrap them and freeze them. So that at times like these, when I just need one chicken breast, I can just go into the freezer, grab a single zip bag, and just use that. And, oops, I'm just going to cut these into like kind of tenders, if you will. It's a little frozen still, but that makes it easier to cut. So I like it. So I like to cut the tendons off so I don't bite into them. Alright, take this last guy, just chop him in half. Let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, good. I'm even. Alright, and I'm going to wash my hands. Then we'll get to cooking these. Okie dokie, I'm going to toss these guys in the skillet. Bring you a little closer so you can actually see the skillet. Oh, doesn't sound like it's hot enough, but it's okay, it'll have to do. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown these on both sides. And then just toss everything else into the skillet with them. Alrighty, now since these are almost all the way browned up, I'm going to put in a little bit of basil and parsley. Then we're going to take 2 cups of chicken broth. And you want these guys to kind of bathe in the chicken broth to finish cooking all the way. And in addition to the chicken broth, we're going to add in Caesar dressing. If I can get the lid off. Alright. And this I don't measure. Again, I go off of what I'm feeling and taste preference. So let that come to a boil. Yeah, I think I want more of the Caesar dressing. And this sauce is going to really reduce down by the end. So it's not going to look like this in about 20 minutes. So as you may be able to see, the sauce in the pan is a different color than it was before. It was kind of like a whiter off-white texture color before, and now it's a little darker. But now I'm going to put in some bacon bites. Bacon bits. Derp. Little bacons. Little baby bacons that I don't have to cut up myself or cook myself. So the last couple of minutes, we're going to let the bacon bits sit in there. And we're going to let the sauce reduce a little further. I've still got about 5 minutes left on this casserole. And also, I took the chicken out for a little while because I think it would have been overcooked if I had left it in the pan the whole time. So I took it out, put it on a plate, and then I just put it back in a minute or two ago. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, take that off the burner. Alrighty, let's get this guy out of the oven. Look at that. So you got some of the chips browned on top. If you get them too brown, that's kind of icky. But it's nice and bubbly. Oh yeah, so good. Okay, well I'm gonna let that cool for a few minutes, let my chicken chill out for a few minutes, and I'll be back. Alrighty, everything's done. It's still a little bubbly in the casserole, but it's plateable. So I'm gonna take 3 pieces of chicken. Let's do you. And this is the plate I had them resting on earlier when I took them out of the pan. Put a little sauce over the top. And then I'm just going to use this spoon to get out some of this delicious, gooey, cheesy, potato-y. Awesome. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite meals ever that I hardly ever get. But it's my birthday, and I figure I can do what I want. So I will see you guys next time, and I'm gonna eat this.